Can you hear me now? Please let me know as soon as you can hear me, if you can hear me. Um, anyone? Anyone? You can hear me? Is this yeah, you can hear me? Ay, 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 ay. So the other day I couldn't get this microphone to stop working, and tonight it just decided not to work. So who knows what's going on? Growing pains, trying to figure this out, trying to figure it out for the open late versus the highly articulated episodes because I set them up differently with different gear. So we're back. You couldn't hear me before, so let me reset. And we are live. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Anyways, Retro Carded Beast, Jim Lee version, animated series version. I'm very excited to get it. I had the previous version, and I traded it for this one. So you're all caught up on what you missed. So there we go. Brick said AV technology plus streaming tech is a pain in the butt. It is, but that's what makes it fun, right? The excitement of will it work or won't it? Because it's roulette really at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. What is there multiple? What's going on? Can you hear me? Is the sound bad now? How many of you are there? Is something going on with the sound? Is there something wrong with the sound? Brick says it's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm just gonna go with it. All right. So retro carded beasts. These retro cards are really big, but they're really done well. Unlike some of the other retro carded stuff, the classified stuff's on a really flimsy card, whereas the Marvel Legends stuff seems to be on a much, much more solid card, which is a very, very nice thing to do when you're going to have a nice card like this. I wish they would do this with the classified stuff. All the Legend stuff does this. So you get that really, really fun Toy Biz throwback as far as the art goes. You get the comic book inspired call out up on the top corner. Anybody that collected comic books through the 90s, I don't think they really do it much anymore, but they used to show you kind of the team that was in the comic book that you were about to read, especially Marvel. And so that's just a really, really cool touch. The colors are fun too. Like this, there's that nostalgia hit with this because it looks so much like the carded figures that I got, when I was a kid, going to the mall and going to the Toys and Wheels and getting, the retro. They weren't retro carded figures then, but the carded figures that looked exactly like this. But yeah, this is a good one. As it says right there, lab gear, and then it's got a whole bunch of languages as well. Then on the back, again, super Toy Biz era inspired. You get sort of the terrible art there for Beast, and then a very, very small bio in English. You, of course, get one, in French and German and Spanish and Portuguese or something like that. And then a nice picture of the figure there and a whole bunch of legalese. I don't remember there being this much legalese when we were kids. I wonder, I wonder if there was and I didn't notice, or whether the legalese just, it wasn't as important. They didn't really care about it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to open this and I'm going to use a knife, Star. But I'll be quick. And I'll do it off screen so you can't see me doing it. So you don't worry about me or my figure. I think you're worried about the figure, not me, which is fine. I'm not keeping the card. It's just these don't rip off the card very easily. You gotta cut them. Does it make it worse that you can still hear it? I wonder. All right, let's pop this guy out of the bubble. And as I said, I'm not keeping the bubble, so I don't really need to keep it in any sort of good condition. All right, there he is out of the box in his lab coat, looking very, very smart, as he is. You know, Hank McCoy, the scientist, the technician. He doesn't want to stand. He's very, very. So his belt, like, first off, I just noticed that his belt's crooked, which is going to drive me crazy if I don't at least try to fix it. And I've had this beast already. Like I said, it's a great figure. Poses really, really well. It's got all the right articulation for such a big sort of heavy figure. It actually poses surprisingly well, and because he's got really nice butterfly joints and just well designed joints in general. The engineering is quite good. He can look up quite well too, which is helpful when you're posing beast, when you want to get him in that sort of low crouching position. Now, I don't think I'm going to try to get him into that position because I haven't heated this figure up. What I am going to do is change my camera angle. Hold on one second. Like I said, those giant retro cards are just that. They're very, very big. So there, that's a much better angle, so you can actually see the figure properly. Game Quest is here. What's going on, Game Quest? Good evening, all. Beast of an evening. All right. Now, as far as the accessories go, this is where this guy sort of kicks it up a notch relative to the original release. So you get the exact same body, but it's a new head with a closed mouth. I think this head looks more comic book accurate. It's not quite cartoon accurate, but that's kind of what I want. I want Jim Lee era accurate. This head I never felt was like broad enough in terms of the hair, and he was always shouting, and I just didn't really need him to always be shouting. It just didn't seem to be necessary to me. And then you get the alternate hands. So you get a fist and an open hand on there. You get sort of a holding hand and a palm. Now, this palm, believe it or not, if you can get it balanced just right, and I have done, you can actually get them to like balance right on that palm, which is really, really cool. Then we get two little lab bottles. The way they do these lab bottles is kind of funny. I don't know why they don't just like paint them or whatever. Like, it just, you can see that like the contents look to be just in the center. This one's a little bit better because it's more of a cone shape to it. But this one's just sort of plugged in from the bottom. You can buy aftermarket ones that are better than these, but it's a good start, I suppose. And this one says X Gene 6. I don't know if that's a reference to anything specific or not, but just cool to get, you know, the lab gear to go with him, as well as the glasses, so he can really nerd out hard. And I don't know if these fit both heads, or just this head. And they don't, I mean, the ears don't stick out, so these don't really fit. Like, I'm not sure how these are supposed to stay on. because you could see like the arms don't go far enough to even reach the ears. They're just sort of on there. Well, they're on there. I mean, I guess they're on there. I don't think I'm ever going to, like, he's not going to get displayed in the lab coat. He's not going to get displayed with the glasses, if I'm being perfectly honest. I want beastly beast. I don't need, lab coat scientist beast, to be perfectly honest. So I'm just going to slip the lab coat off, which is pretty easy to do. Just pop that hand off. But I want to put this flat palm on here anyway, because like I said, he will balance on that hand. I can't remember how to do it. And as I said, I'm not going to do it tonight because it would take far too long and you would be far too bored just sitting there watching me do it. So I'm not going to do it. The lab coat, though, even though I'm not going to be leaving it on the figure, I just want to stand up. Like I said, he's a big hulking figure, and he balances really well when you get him balanced. There, he's balanced. The lab coat's actually quite well done. I thought it would be sort of a frumpy, just thrown on there type of thing. But it's actually got, a little pocket. It's got a collar. It's got a lapel. It's even got, a split in the back. So it's a good little piece. Like, it's designed well and made well, but I just don't need it, to be perfectly honest. I want this beast. And I'm going to pose him in a crouched beastly position and pose him, set him up on the display with the X-Men. Now, just as a reference to sort of show you size-wise, he's quite a big boy. There he is next to Cyclops, and there he is next to, just stand up, you big oaf. So there you go. He, like I said, he's quite big. He's probably about 6.5 inches tall. And Scott Summers, Cyclops, is not a small figure. He is on the bigger side as far as, the human scaled figures, and Beast is a little bit taller. Wolverine, of course, is meant to be this small. I really hope if they do Wolverine in the MCU that they do him nice and short, because that's the way he's supposed to be posed, or the way he's supposed to be portrayed. So I'm hoping that they do it correctly. Now, as I said, you get good articulation on this. So it's double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, plenty of articulation at the wrist where you can get full extension of the actual joint. They've sculpted it really well and made it so that, his muscles and like the bulk isn't actually going to interfere with how well the figure is going to pose. His foot can go really far back and quite far forward, and then he has a toe hinge as well, so plenty of posability there. Not he doesn't just have the articulation for the sake of having the articulation. He has the ab crunch as well as a pivot, like it's on a ball joint as well. So plenty of articulation there to go forward or back. No problem at all. As I said, the butterfly joints, you can see how far this butterfly joint is cut into the figure. So his arm will go, all the way back. It'll go most of the way forward. And you get all the articulation that you could possibly need for Beast. And because of that, this guy is actually really, really fun to play with, really, really posable. And as I said, you can get him to balance on this hand if you have the patience to do so. As I said, it's not easy. but it's sort of worth the time because it looks really, really cool to get him to do that. He won't balance for a long time in that position, at least not that I've found, because he is still quite a heavy figure balancing on quite a small hand still. But he won't stand up. That's ridiculous and annoying. But that's there. He can just stand right there. All right. That's I mean, pretty basic figure, and it's a figure that we've seen before. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Let me know. Feel free to ask. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Let me see. Let me jump back a bit here. Thanos, another toy with no gripping feet. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna lose those glasses. I'm gonna put those glasses into like a bin with a bunch of accessories and never think about them ever again. Never really cared for Cat Beast. Star can't shake the Kelsey Grammer image. I keep seeing a pissed off Fraser. What was the name of the kid that did it in First Class? I thought he did a pretty good job. He always looked like a blue Wolverine. Well, you guys are all wrong because Beast is awesome. Beast is one of my favorite characters because he had that sort of balance of, the beast and the brain. And they've taken Beast to some pretty interesting places, story-wise, narrative-wise. He's kind of currently taken on a bit of a like Mr. Sinister type of thing right now, getting into some science that's less than ethical. So pretty interesting stuff, to be honest. Brick said, I like the Defenders era Beast, but I agree that there was a danger of him being blue Wolverine. Yeah. Yeah, don't need the lab coat. Lizard can have that. I don't have the lizard, but I suppose, I suppose he could. I don't know if they're going to scale the same though, because he's big, but he's not like huge. Star, I like the idea of the team wearing the team uniforms, especially at the start of the X Factor team. This is to me, this is like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it's he's got some of each, right? He's got the yellow belt that Cyclops has and the blue trunks that Wolverine has. I like the uniform look as well. The Uncanny X-Men 275 figures are my favorites. Those are the ones that I'm probably going to prioritize on my shelf when I redo my X-Men display. But we'll see. Brick something. I like the neutral head more. Yes. Yep. This needs gripping feet, or at least one to hang him from the danger room bar. I'm assuming that. Yeah, I mean the gripping feet thing. I don't know. The would you have him? Would you have the gripping foot grip the same size as this? Like that's what I've heard from like Jason and sort of other people that have been sort of had people request gripping feet. Is what do you want it to grip? Because different things are different sizes, so you can't have it grip everything. You know what I mean? You'd have to pick a size and kind of stick with it. Heldor, maybe that bottle is to give him standing genes. Yeah, exactly. Toe articulation, yes, yeah, because it allows him to get into a really deep crouched position. I wish Nightcrawler had articulation in the toes. That's the only figure that I think I have where I think he should have that, but Thanos Copter, Brick, you gonna pick up that angel? I'm gonna pick up that angel, I think. And I'm pretty sure Brick doesn't really collect Marvel Legends, so Yeah, there. I don't collect X-Men, so I don't think so. Tempted by the Wings, but nah. Derek is here as well. What's going on, Derek? Brick said, I just enjoy my brother's Marvel Legends. He's got great taste and chooses the figs from that line that speak to both of us. So you'll probably get to see it, but this guy feels more like AWOC than X-Men. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, as far as that goes, let me grab. Well, I gotta move Goyle out of the way so that I can grab Pale. Scale-wise, he's right there. I mean, because he is a taller figure, you could put him on your AWOC shelf. He doesn't have the pupils in the eyes, but now I feel like I might want a second beast to actually add to my AWOC shelf. We shall see. He's still available some places, I think, so I certainly could do that. Brick something. Can you hit some beastie poses? Can I personally, or can this figure? This figure definitely can. Now, whether or not I can get him to do it straight out of the box, yeah, the joints are okay. It's not going to be too bad. But it's always this one. It's always the thigh swivel that doesn't go, and I'm not forcing it. So if that doesn't want to go, there's not much I can do about that. But I mean, but I can show you that this leg will squat right down, especially with the aid of that, the toe articulation and the articulation in the ankle. And again, this ankle is tighter than this one, so I don't really want to force it, and I wouldn't be able to if I wanted, because you need to rotate the thighs a little bit too. It's going a little bit. I just don't want to force it. Is all. But there you go. Like, he can squat pretty low. That's with the toe. So he can get down there, like I said, because of that toe articulation. And as I said, he won't stand up, but the balance on this figure is really, really good. I think what's his name? The Blade Master Wen or Wang or whatever, Blade Master, that one. Well, here's a good. This is. No, it's not going to be balanced. That's it's not going to work. But I thought a nice lunge might be a good pose. The balance on this figure is surprisingly good for such a bulky figure. As I said, it's surprising how well, once you get him a little bit lower, he will sort of just sit there. But he won't stand up. Jeez. Anyway, let's see. Oh, an X Factor box set would be pretty cool. And it would be an easy repaint, right? We've got, we will have all the figures needed to do that once we get Angel. So do you think they just rehashed Smart Hulk? No. In what respects? Because this is a repaint. Like, this figure came out in like 2018 or 2019 in a slightly different deco. The other deco, the light blue was a little bit darker, and then all the spots that have dark blue for the fur were like they were like dark gray. So it was a much different look to the figure. But it's not a rehash of Smart Hulk. I mean, I didn't point this out because I kind of rushed through. I guess not everybody has seen the previous version, but like the whole figure is textured with fur, front to back, top to bottom, like a ton of texture, and it looks really really nice. Um, texture wise, all the way, down to his furry toes. So it's definitely not it's definitely a unique sculpt as far as I know. Now they use this, as I said, for the previous version. This is the retro carded version, and then for the Age of Apocalypse, they did use the upper torso as well as the arms. The Age of Apocalypse beast, of course, had the armored legs and a very different head, but it used the same torso. Um, um, let's see. Let me see. Thanos, Angel goes up for order tomorrow. Is that true? Is that right? Um, let's see. He is huge now. Seeing him next to Pale, yeah, it's a big figure. It's a very big figure. Um, Brick, I want Mutant Massacre wings for Angel, ones with harpoons. Brick, you were asking about the the Archangel that we got, as far as whether he had that one head sculpt, and he does. He has the gold faced when he was one of the horsemen. He has that head. And I just remembered you mentioning that in a chat. Somebody was, I can't remember who was talking about it or where, but yeah, the previous version of Archangel where we got the blue head, we also got the gold faced one. Thanos Beast is still a pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. What? This figure came out like a year ago. That's crazy. Um, yes. The head, as far as the head, whoop, popped off. But it is on a joint that will go pretty far forward and pretty far back. I think this head will actually go further back than this one because this one has more hair on the back. But he'll get in a pretty good, lunge pose. Because he has, as I said, he has the ab crunch as well as the diaphragm cut. So he's on a ball joint at the diaphragm and then the ab crunch. So you get good articulation out of this guy. It's a very, very good figure, very posable, very fun to play with. When the thighs are able to move properly. Blade Master Wang, yes. New York City figure fanatic. Europe. What's going on, my man? Let's see. Oh, sweet. New York City figure fanatic got the AWOC figures that I donated for Toying Around's charity drive thing, 24-hour stream. So happy that you got them. That's good. Good to hear. Brick says, I think I may need this beast. Hey, it fits in. It fits in with your collection more than any other Marvel Legends that I can think of. So you said Beast can, but didn't answer whether you can. I can. I definitely can. Game Quest pre-ordered him on Big Bad Toy Store. It's a great figure. I wish everybody had this figure because it's a really, really great figure. Let's see. Brick something. I believe Beast got furry before Grey Hulk, and he was always a smarty pants. He was always a smarty pants. I mean, he was in the first issue of the X-Men in what was it, 66 or 67 or whatever. I mean, I wasn't alive, so I don't know. And he was Beastly and hairy in the early 80s. I don't remember Beast ever not being furry in my lifetime, at least. Let's see. She prefers blue hairy Beast. Brick something. I was wondering if Archangel had the Death Head, and he does. Thanos, I want them to re-release Archangel. That would, I mean, that's a great figure. That was actually, fun fact, Archangel was the very first Marvel Legends figure that I bought. So there. Derek, that's a dang good looking figure. It really is. Star, I wonder if he has shedding issues at home. Is he married? I don't think he's married. I think in the comics he has had romantic entanglements, but I don't know that he's ever been married. And it's, I mean, I don't know if he sheds any more than any other normal person. He didn't turn Beastly till Defenders or right before. I believe that was before Grey Hulk. Yeah, Grey Hulk. Well, like Grey Hulk was OG Hulk, wasn't it? Like OG Hulk, but then Smart Hulk was, I want to say, like late 80s or early 90s, wasn't it? Anyway, doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm not a comic book historian by any stretch. Let's see. Derek's got to take off. Good night, Derek. We'll talk to you soon. I'm happy to have you, my man. Brick's doing my research for me. Beast turned hairy in 1972, well before Defenders, well before Smart Hulk. He had a girlfriend, didn't work out, probably because of the shedding. Thanos, I was gonna say it was early on. Yeah, it's he had gray fur initially, or he had gray fur for a minute, which is, maybe there is some connection between him and Grey Hulk there. I'm not sure. Beast had too many internalized hatred issues and ruined it with Trish. Yeah, he's a complicated fellow. Grey Hulk was OG, but Smart Hulk was late 80s. Okay, yeah. Smart Hulk was 91. Yeah, yes, that's I mean, I said late 80s, early 90s. That was I had started reading comic books at that time, which is why I kind of vaguely remember that. And I remember that Beast was furry before Hulk was smart. Star, how do you blend in public when you look like that? You don't. You live in a mansion full of mutants. So you don't blend in at all. You don't even really try. I mean, I think that's the Beast is, well, like I said, Beast is complicated, and I think there's a lot more to Beast than people kind of appreciate. They kind of just look at him. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole, that's the whole motivation or sort of inspiration for having, an incredibly smart, scientifically minded person that happens to outwardly be beastly. It's it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in one. He doesn't change. There was a time when he did. There was a time where he could change back and forth. I think. Don't quote me on that, but for some reason I think that at some point there was a moment before he went full Harry that he had some control over the hairiness. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that, there's something. Yes, Brick says his internalized hatred was what got him into blue furry troubles to begin with. He was experimenting to revert his mutation. Yeah, and I think when he got angry, he got furry or something along those lines. But like I said, I could be totally wrong. Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys, I just had the one figure and we've gone 40 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I have to edit another video to try to get it out as quickly as I can, as well as record a couple more. I just got a couple more figures in today. Stay tuned for those videos. I like, there's too much cool stuff to do. I got too many toys to unbox, too many unboxing videos to make. So I am going to bid you all adieu and good night. But before I do that, I'm going to click some buttons that I forgot to click and do this. And say to all of you, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. That's been an absolute pleasure. As I always say, it is way more fun to unbox toys with friends, and so I was happy to have you, my friends, here with me tonight. I try to do this every Wednesday. This was last minute, but I was like, it's Wednesday. I gotta do it. My week won't feel right if I don't. So thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you guys can join me next time. If you're watching on the replay, I appreciate you as well. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye. Now I gotta remember to end the stream.